Hello. So what about VATs? So how do you do VATs in IlluGen? Well, easy. There's basically three steps to that. So first, well, you make your animation, and then you bake that information using the VAT encode, which is gonna generate two assets. You're gonna have your model, and then you're gonna have your textures that has all the information from your previous animation. So let's do a live example, and then I'm gonna show you the settings and the export and then the import to Unreal. It's gonna be a pretty lengthy one, so grab a coffee. Let's just go File, New Project, and there we go. Let's just go to Auto. So step one, create an animation. So I'm gonna do a very simple one. Let's just do a Geo Shapes. Double click on this one. What can we do? We got plane Q. Let's do a torus, for example. Reduce the height to, I don't know, 10, maybe 5. Big fingers. So reduce division, maybe 32. That should be enough. And then what else can we do about it? Maybe we can duplicate this one and then merge those two together. I wonder if we select those two and then we make a merge, if it's gonna merge those two together. No. You see, that's one of the things I like to request from VFX. If you read this, guys, if you select like multiple nodes, GeoShape nodes, and then you right click and select Geo merge, it should merge like the two together. Would be nice. Anyway, back to making that. Right. So for this one, maybe we can make some kind of like rings. I don't know, like that are like rotating. Geo shapes. Maybe reduce the uniform scale a little bit, like 80%. And let's just go on the timeline to make it rotate. So click once to add the keyframe override. So let's just I think it should be the y-axis. Well, no, probably this one. Well, let's just do with the x-axis, right? So just reset, go back. This one by default is gonna be 0, and let's just do an animation that goes to 64, and then at 64th frame it's going to be, I don't know, 180. Should add automatically. Now like this 0 from 64, 180. Hey, well, why? I'm stupid. There you go. 64. This one to 180. And then there you have your animation, right? Let's just do the same for this one, rotation. And let's do the Y maybe for this one, yeah. Okay, let's just go back to 0 for this one. And then for this one, 180. 67, no, 57, 64th, and then maybe set the looping region to 64. R to reset and play. Yeah. You can even play with the animation the curve tab to modify your curves if you want. There you go. Let's just go on with that, and then step 2, use the VAT encode. Right. So R play, and then there you have it. Let's just go to the 2D and 3D view, the animation, and then all this information being baked into the texture, right? So then after that, step 3, export the geometry. Type export model, texture, export color, and yeah, that's step 3. But now you have a couple settings to set up. So 64 animation is going to be simple. We have the VAT encode options, the timeline, first frame, leave it as is, number of frames 64 because 64, strides none. I'd say you don't need to use strides if your animation is very fast already, and it's just 64 frames, so it's already pretty small. And I won't go over every parameters in details because VFX already covered this, so I'm not trying like to override what they're saying, but merely make a video on how I go on about making the things I want as a real-time VFX artist. So what you gotta watch for first is check if the bounding box over there match the max position scale. If you hover your mouse over this, you're gonna see some explanation about it. But basically, if let's say your bounding box values over there are about 50, well, be honest, I would put I don't know, 100 just to be sure. It's a bit overkill, but your this value for the max position scale should match or be a bit higher than the max values for the bounds over there, the max and the minimum. So here it's minus 50 and then it's 50. I guess I could just put 50, but I'd rather put 100. It's a bit overkill again, but hey. So you absolutely have like to set values like this to match or to be above, because otherwise it's gonna break your animation inside Unreal Engine 5, for example. So what else can we do? Can we change? Well, we have the VAT precision. By default is set to 16 bits HDR, and well, usually I just leave it as is. So this value, if you set it to 16 bits, you have to set the position encoding to single value, and then into the texture export you have to also set the texture to 16 bits. So 16 bits over there, 16 bits over there as well, and then single value. But if you decide to want a 8 bits texture, that precision mode, well, in that case you have to set the position encoding to split value, like so, and then go back to export the texture and then set it back to 8 bits. Also, in that export node, be sure to remove to toggle off this option, sRGB texture. Right. So what else? Well, you also have the encode position. This one, well, you're gonna have like to let it on by default, unless you have like some very specific case. But usually, if you have like animations like this, well, you're gonna want to leave. You're gonna need the position of the vertex. So encode normal also left on as is, and encode tangent, encode color by off. By default, I'd say we're good. There you go. I'm gonna leave it back to 16 bits because, well, I'd rather have a full precision for this. Split value, no, single value. And to speed up your workflow, what you can also do is make it a preset. I already talked about it in one of the videos prior, but one of the cool things about it are the presets. So add one, set VAT 16 bits preset. Maybe, well, maybe I can just add it to, I should have renamed it like so, VAT 16 bits 64 frames, no strides. Wow. Delete. And there you have it. That way you don't have like to, if you want a 8-bit, for example, let's just go and 8 bits, encode position, yada yada, split value. There you have it. Make it a preset, VAT 8 bits, 64 frames, no stride. There you go. And then also maybe make a preset for those. 8 bits, add a preset, VAT text export, text 8 bits, and then for 16-bit let's add another one. It's gonna be VAT 16 text 16 bits, 8 bits, 10 bits, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the model. Well, usually you would want to export it as centimeters for the length unit because Unreal deals with centimeters, but I'd rather leave it for meters for now. It's not really relevant, very important for us. So what else? Well, you also have to download the materials provided by Django VFX. So you have two ways of doing it. Either you download the material directly from here, from the export node, see the export model and export color, or you can go into the top left corner of the viewport and go on get material and then click on it, and then it's gonna download the files, and then you're gonna have to import it on your Unreal project, and possibly having to convert it to your own version, because if I remember well, when they exported it, it was in 5.6. So if you're doing 5.7, you're gonna have like to do like some migration stuff to import it on your project. But I'm not gonna go over this one, probably in another video. So we got all the settings set properly. So let's just export those assets into Unreal Engine. So I already created like a folder and open one of the scene I am currently working on. Well, actually I'm done with this. This is the Wandering Spirit map from my latest portfolio I did. So what I like to do when importing stuff from IlluGen is well, I already have like a proper like folder to gather all the assets, but depending on the project, you're gonna have like to set up a source file structure. So yeah, but for our needs, we can just drag and drop everything into one single folder. So what I like to do is already having like an asset already in that file. so that I can have like a point of reference where I can just right click on it, show in Explorer, over there, and then copy the path from this, go back to IlluGen, and then for the export model directory, copy paste, it's gonna be there. So naming convention, very important if you're working as a professional. And well, it's also important even if you're not, because well, you need to have a minimum of structure when working. So for meshes, usually it's well, what do you call that? I forgot about it. Mesh. Is it mesh 3D model? Well, we can do VAT mesh. Well, model demo model. Right. For the texture, we can have the same path as well. It's gonna be VAT demo texture 16 bits. Should be good, right? So let's export the model. Export now, and then also export the texture. Then let's go back to Unreal. So you're gonna see the prompt over there to change the source file content, blah blah blah. So import. So for the import settings for your mesh, there's quite a bunch of settings to untick, and honestly there should be already a preset made for VFX artists inside Unreal Engine, where you know, well, we just need to import our meshes. We don't need all that stuff, which is very annoying. Well, I guess you can create a preset for that, but yeah. So first and foremost, check for nanite. Well, nothing over there for this one. That's probably because I already imported like a previous mesh for this one that looks similar, so maybe it kept it in memory. What else do we have? We have the compute normals, import collision, no. Nanite, no. Skeletal mesh, no. Animation, nope. Import material, no. Import texture, no as well. What else? I'd say yes. Also, I think create physics assets. This one you also have like to untick, because otherwise it's gonna like create another file, a scene file, and you don't want that. So import. Well, I was wrong. I don't know why. Oh, I think I know why. It's probably because like I drag and dropped it previously, rather than just like export it that way. But anyway, delete this one. That's very annoying. Got your mesh. That should be good. Well, redressing we don't need. Navigation data, no. We have collision, should not be. Nothing. Block all, no. No collision. Let's check again if 99 is enabled or not. No. Okay, that should be all for the model. So what about the texture? So yeah. So for the texture, when you export it, you gotta go into the settings over there on the export node for the texture, and then set the first frame to 64, which is the end of your animation, and then export it again, because you're gonna render the last frame that you set over there, the frame you're gonna set over there, which is the last one. So yeah, export again. There you go. Import. And there you have it. So what else do we have to uncheck here? So first and foremost, this needs to be uncompressed, so set it to HDR, or I think there's another one. I think it's gonna be HDR high precision. I think it's this one. But usually I take this one, HDR RGBA 16F, no sRGB, so no sRGB. So as you can see, it has been removed. It needs to be toggle off. And then what else can you do? I think that's pretty much it for the texture. And then what else you can do about that? Well, you need a material instance, so let's create a material if I can type instance. There you go. ME VAT demo, right? And then find the parent for this one. So the parent is gonna be this one. So this material is the one of those that were provided by VFX. So I took the liberty of making a copy of it and then adding some parameters and some additional setups to fit my needs. Especially for this one, for the looping normalized time, what I like to do, because usually I would do VATs for very specific VFX where I want to have control over the animation. So what I just do is a scalar parameter, or S, and then click. There you go. And then just link this information, this scalar, to the normalized time over there. So let's take this one. Well, first I gotta say that I'm using the VAT pose and norm material type because I have as you can see over there, if you remember well, I exported the position and the normal. So I'm gonna take this material that has the position and the normal information. If you wanna have a look of the material provided, the package should look like this. You have a scene example, and then you have a bunch of a folder where you can just like go ahead and just like choose what you want. But what I did was to go into common, and then I picked the pose norm mat, which is this one, and then you have other materials depending on the type of settings you made in IlluGen. You also have like the split one, which are for the 8 bits settings export. So let's just go back to our own folder, IlluGen tutorial VATs demo. So we got the material over there, and then we get the material instance, and then we can just assign it. What are you talking about? It's because I selected this one. Select this one. Let me VAT demo, assign it. And then what else can you do? Well, you have to set the frame count to match the total length of your animation, which is 64 for us. For the scale, it was 100 or something. For the texture, well, you gotta assign the texture there. There you go. And then what else can you do? Well, you can also add the mesh over there for preview. Select it, and then there you have it. It works. Wow. So let's just drag this one over there, and then assign the material instance to this instance. Maybe we can even increase the scale, and then we can even go further by showing you a case where I would use this animation. So You can use a sequence file. So right click, level sequence, select one, and then sequence is AQ VAT demo, and then yeah, should be it. Open it, save, and then select your instance, and then, well, add. Wow, you can just drag and drop it. Select it, drag and drop. Well, you have various way of doing it, but drag and drop it is easier. So VAT demo model, click on the plus sign over there, and the component, static mesh component 0, hit the plus on the static mesh component you just added, then go on to the material parameter section and select the slot material 0 to have access to the parameters exposed. So right now I'm looking for the VAT animation scaler, but it's not available, well, because it was unplugged. This one is for pre-visualization, visualization, I guess, or pre-visualization, whatever. So plug your scalar value over there, set it back to 0 by default, and then, well, now you have it available, but animation. So frame 1, there's already a key set to 0, so let's just go to the end of the timeline and then add another key, which should be 1. And then if we go back and play, there you have it. You have your VAT. And that's it. So have fun.